Hey adrenaline junkies, Tech Trouble is back, where massive airplanes, roaring jet engines, and catastrophic mid-air disasters collide in pure chaos. From brutal turbulence to near-miss collisions, these are the aviation moments that push survival to the edge. Buckle up, because the storm is about to hit. Brace yourself. This jet roars in just a few feet above stunned onlookers, skimming past rooftops before slamming down on the short runway. Smoke bursts from the tires as the pilots wrestle control, delivering one of the most intense landings you'll ever see. In the middle of a fierce storm, this jet fights for survival as crosswinds slam against its wings. The pilot makes a split-second choice, aborting the landing and powering back into the skies, narrowly escaping disaster. What starts as an innocent flight turns into pure terror. Passengers spot flames bursting from the wing mid-air. Panic rises in the cabin as the jet continues over open water, every second feeling like a countdown to disaster.
That doesn't sound good.
Right on the edge of the runway, crowds cling to the fence as a massive jet powers up just meters away. The blast of its engine sends sand, dust, and people flying. Proof that at this airport, being a spectator is almost as extreme as the flight itself.
Look at this. Parts of the landing gear are visibly broken, yet the Air Canada jet still fights its way onto the runway. Metal scraping, sparks flying, and against all odds, the pilots manage to hold it steady.
Crowds gather just meters from the runway, and when this jet powers up, chaos erupts. The raw engine blast hurls sand, dust, and people backward, an extreme reminder why this spot is both legendary and dangerous. The skies ignite with precision as two Slovak Republic aircraft dive low in perfect formation. Wingtip to wingtip, they carve sharp turns and roll in flawless sync. Battlefield meets the runway as this military transport plane attempts a rough landing on grass, bouncing and tilting dangerously before scraping its side against the ground. Imagine this, an aircraft racing down the runway, but its front tires refuse to touch the ground. All the weight slams onto the rear wheels, turning an ordinary landing into a heart-stopping, dangerous spectacle. The ground trembles as a massive military transport dives in for a risky grass landing. It slams down hard, bouncing and tilting wildly before scraping its side against the earth. Dust explodes into the air as the pilots battle to keep control, narrowly steering the giant away from disaster. crowd gasps as the Red Bull stunt helicopter suddenly veers out of control, drifting dangerously close to a hangar. Runway becomes a tightrope of danger as a vintage aircraft wobbles violently side to side. Each dip looks like disaster, but at the last moment, the pilot steadies the warbird and slams it down safely. A heart-stopping close call that shows just how unforgiving the skies can be. As the aircraft slams into the snowy runway, its wheels snap off on impact. Instantly, the landing turns chaotic, balance is lost, sparks fly, and the massive plane struggles to stay upright in a heart-pounding fight against disaster. Unthinkable happens mid-flight. An aircraft suddenly loses a wheel, sending it plummeting toward the earth below. Chaos erupts inside the cabin as passengers realize the plane is now crippled, forced to attempt landing with missing gear. Every second in the sky turns deadly as imbalance shakes the jet, wings tilting under the pressure. In the cockpit, the crew stays ice cold, fighting the controls with precision and nerves of steel. The stakes couldn't be higher. One mistake and hundreds of lives are gone. What follows is a breathtaking test of skill and survival in the face of disaster. A thunderous roar shakes the island as a giant jet skims low over the treetops, its engine screaming just yards above the ground. The beast hits the runway with raw power, and instantly chaos erupts on the nearby beach. Sand and seawater blast into the air as tourists dive, stumble, and cling desperately to the fence against the jet wash. The aircraft powers forward, climbing just above rooftops and palm trees in a breathtaking ascent, leaving behind a shoreline drenched in chaos, thrill, and disbelief. A once-in-a-lifetime spectacle only this airport can deliver. Flames rage on the highway when suddenly a firefighting aircraft swoops in low, skimming just above the traffic. In a breathtaking strike, it unleashes a massive wave of water, drenching the blaze in seconds. Cars, officers, and asphalt vanish under the downpour as the jet thunders past, tearing through smoke and fire. Its raw aviation power turned into a life-saving spectacle.
Whoa! Holy cow! Smoking!
As this twin-engine aircraft comes in for landing, smoke can already be seen trailing from both engines midair.
It's crazy!
The situation turns more dramatic the moment its wheels hit the runway. Thick smoke and spray burst out, making it look like the plane is struggling to stay balanced. Battling the rough winds and mechanical stress, the pilots fight hard to steady the aircraft. In the end, they managed to bring it under control, pulling off a risky yet successful landing. A heart-stopping moment unfolded as the plane touched down. Its front gear scraped the runway, sending out sparks and flames. For a few tense seconds, balance seemed uncertain, but the aircraft pushed through and continued forward. A breathtaking moment in the mountains. A helicopter struggles to stabilize near the helipad as strong winds push it dangerously close to the slope. Ground staff and bystanders can be seen rushing and ducking for safety while the aircraft battles for control. It's a heart-stopping scene where precision flying meets extreme conditions. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. How did it make you feel? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Mid-flight horror. The engine's outer casing has completely torn apart, exposing its core. Despite this terrifying damage, the aircraft continues flying as the pilots prepare for an emergency landing.
Oh my God, it's so terrifying.
This was a heart-stopping moment for me. How did it make you feel? Let me know in the comments.
In mid-flight, the aircraft's door suddenly bursts open, creating chaos in the cockpit. The co-pilot reacts instantly, grabbing it with full force to keep it from swinging wildly as the plane fights against the wind.
Swiss plane struggles in heavy crosswinds during approach, shaking as it nears the runway. Despite the rough conditions, the pilots manage to land, though the touchdown looks tense and unstable. Storm unleashes its fury as a bolt of lightning tears through the sky, striking a jet parked on the airport ramp. Oh my God, it's so terrifying.
Look where he's putting. Don't start your camera yet. Don't nice guy.
Peace shatters in an instant as a small aircraft plunges onto a road near a golf course. The impact rips across the asphalt, the plane skidding violently out of control as sparks and metal fragments scatter everywhere. Within seconds, it disappears into a choking cloud of dust and debris. The runway turns into chaos as a jet roars forward for takeoff, only to wobble dangerously, swaying side to side with no stability. Instead of climbing, it slams back onto the tarmac in a brutal, bone-jarring touchdown. For a tense moment, it looks like disaster is inevitable, but the pilots wrestle the controls, fighting to steady the giant and guide it safely back on track. A near miss that shows just how thin the line is between flight and catastrophe. The approach looks tense from the start. The vintage aircraft drops low, struggling to steady itself as it lines up with the runway. Then, disaster strikes. The landing gear collapses on impact, sending the plane skidding violently across the tarmac. Sparks ignite, smoke bursts into the air, and within seconds, the aircraft slides off the strip and into the dirt. A massive dust cloud engulfs the wreck, turning a routine landing into a dramatic crash that leaves everyone holding their breath. Panic erupts on the tarmac as an American Airlines Boeing Dreamliner spews thick smoke from its nose section. In seconds, fire crews storm the scene, hoses blasting foam into the blaze as alarms echo across the airport. Ground staff stand frozen, watching every move as firefighters race against time to stop catastrophe. The dramatic response is a chilling reminder of how quickly danger can strike and how split-second teamwork can mean the difference between disaster and survival.
Set.
While flying calmly above the desert, a passenger dares to stick his camera outside for a perfect shot. But in a split second, the fierce air pressure snatches it away, sending the camera tumbling into the sky.
At an air show, a vintage fighter plane tries a daring maneuver but loses control. It skids across the grass, throwing up dust, and makes a rough crash landing right in front of the crowd.
Runway calm turns into chaos. This jet touches down, but instantly loses balance, wobbling dangerously before fighting to steady itself.
I can't believe this is happening. It's pure chaos on the edge.
The storm swallows the runway as a jet roars forward, engines howling through the snow. Massive clouds explode behind its wheels, blinding the airfield in whiteout chaos. With visibility nearly gone, the giant surges ahead, fighting the frozen strip, desperate to claw into the sky.
The skies are turbulent, the winds roaring like a storm, determined to throw everything off balance. Out of the haze, a small aircraft emerges, shaking violently as crosswinds slam against its wings. With its landing gear already extended, the plane sways side to side, fighting the invisible force of nature. Every movement feels uncertain, every second a gamble. The nose tilts downward, then jerks back up as the pilot struggles to align with the runway. From the ground, it looks like a fragile bird tossed around by a storm, yet inside the cockpit, nerves of steel are being tested. Spectators watching hold their breath. This isn't just another landing. It's a battle of machine against the raw power of nature. The plane edges closer, wheels hovering just feet above the asphalt. A violent gust slams it again, nearly throwing it off course, but the pilot doesn't give up. And that was just a glimpse into the extreme world of aviation, where every second in the sky can turn into a life or death battle. From pilots wrestling brutal crosswinds to planes catching fire mid-air, these shocking moments prove why flying is one of the most thrilling and dangerous jobs on the planet. But here's the truth. For every close call you just saw, there are dozens more caught on camera, each one more unbelievable than the last. These aren't just accidents, they're raw reminders of how powerful nature is, how fragile machines can be, and how incredible the skill of pilots truly is when everything goes wrong. If your heart raced watching these landings, takeoffs, and mid-air scares, then you're in the right place, because this channel is bringing you the most intense aviation moments the world has ever witnessed, caught live, raw, and unfiltered. So don't just watch and scroll away. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell, because what's coming next will make these clips look like child's play. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.